My name is Hatton Humphrey,
I'm Ken Johnston.
and you are watching the Front Porch Political Talk video podcast. Thank you for joining us on a random Sunday night stream. We are apologies for the strangeness of not necessarily the faces you're seeing because that's normal, but for the strangeness of when we've been putting things out. We're still it's Christmas. We're both very busy.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
The world of real life and teenage kids and all those happy fun things just tend to get a little bit in the way.
Yes. And again,
So it is
after we get through the holidays, we'll get a schedule more set. It won't be perfect, but we'll definitely get something more set. Because even my wife was giving me, I got my wife's awesome, and she's starting to give me grief about the schedule. I know it's bad.
Well, I was, and it's funny because I said, Ken, are you okay with us recording and doing something for Monday, Thursday, Saturday? And we tried that, and it didn't really work. So we're gonna scrap that concept, and for now it will be random. Some will be recorded. This one's alive. So if you happen to jump onto either the live stream on YouTube or on Facebook, then we'll see your comments as they happen to pop through. But then beyond that, we'll do recordings and we'll do what we can. So, and especially when things like I had every intention in the world of saying, you know what, Ken, let's jump on yesterday. Let's jump on and record something, but then we had wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
With sustained winds at 40 to 45 miles an hour at times.
Back in Florida, we call that a party.
Yeah, well, the people that from here that go to Florida go at times when that isn't supposed to happen. So.
Well, this time of year, yes.
Yeah.
Come springtime, we're getting 40 with gusts to 70, and that becomes an alcohol-fueled party, otherwise known as tropical storms.
Yes, and sometimes they get a little bit further, and people either do or do not decide to go running for the hills, as it were.
Well. Speaking of running, I don't know if you remember the old commercials from the late 80s with the cafe racer, the motorcycles going back and forth. There was a great commercial came out, and it was heavily aired in Florida, and it was even the ninja knows to run from a hurricane.
Oh,
kidding.
Nice.
You have time. You don't have time to run from a tornado. But you got time to run from a hurricane, and if you don't,
that's Darwin at work. Or not, you never know. Again, good cause for an alcohol-fueled party sometimes.
Absolutely.
So anyway, couple of things that we wanted to talk about tonight. The first is kind of relevant to both of us. My good governor, Kathy Hochul, has decided to let me get this up here. Is pushing or has reinstated a statewide mask mandate because of Omicron. I'd say that's a much more nefarious sounding name than Delta. Omicron.
Sounds like a really bad transformer.
Well, what's funny is both Biden and Fauci called it Omicron.
Yeah,
that sounds more like a transformer.
It was a planet-eating transformer, and I forgot his actual name, but that's what it sounds like.
Yes.
Played heavily in the 84 or 85 movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Let's see. It was they had Omega Supreme.
He's a good guy.
It was Unicron.
Unicron. That's right.
Unicron.
I should have known that.
Yeah.
They're gonna revoke my geek card. I'm done.
No, that's okay. I couldn't remember it either. But anyway, so Hochul
That one might be next.
What's that?
First, it'll be the Megatron variant. Then it'll be the Unicron variant.
Well, they're going through the Greek alphabet, which I never had to learn. So,
and then the aliens show up. So,
yes. Then we will have Unicron.
We will have Unicron.
So Kathy Hochul has issued. Originally she issued the state of emergency at the beginning of the month,
right?
And now with some of the numbers the way that they're going, she's decided to make masks mandatory for indoor activities, except for venues that require proof of vaccination. So, for example, football games at the Highmark Field, which is where the Buffalo Bills play, because the Bills require the stadium requires proof of vaccination for entry. You don't have to wear a mask when you're cheering on the football team of choice, assuming they're playing well. I don't want to talk about the Buccaneers game tonight. It's not pretty, Ken.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, how did Monday night go?
They lost.
Oh, did they? Oh, that's right. Well,
yeah.
Let me rephrase the question. How was Sarah's experience at a first Monday night football game, other than they lost?
Very well. Very well. They stayed the whole time. So that was cool. That was good. She's gone to a few Sunday games, but yeah. So now the score, and I don't even want to look.
It's hard, man. Football is an exhausting game, and the play 3 days later after your last game is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, they played on Monday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. Yeah, 6 days.
Oh, I was thinking it's Thursday for some stupid reason. I'm behind. I apologize. Never mind.
Again, teenage schedules, right?
Yeah.
You can be forgiven for that. It has been crazy. Yeah, no, it's rough. So what's interesting is, and this is kind of my take on it, I understand why they are waiting until December 13th for this to be effective. But at the same token, the amount of snark that can be applied to the statement, oh, you mean Omicron's going to wait?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a smart virus. It's going to wait until Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it truly, but I also understand why, because businesses are required to put up signage and to determine, the venues are going to have to determine whether they want to change their admission policies. There's a ton of there is some business activity that has to happen behind the scenes on this. And she's actually giving them a little bit of time to get the business side in line.
I give her a little bit of credit for that, but
yeah, I mean,
Rebecca and I had a conversation today because apparently one or two of her coworkers are out now, and they're complaining that it's the vaccinated people who aren't taking any precautions, that are asymptomatic, that are now spreading this. So
yeah, I can see that. And what's funny is we're all about this.
Yeah.
And what they've stopped doing, or we're all about this. Here, move my mouse on the
I knew what you were saying. And
we're all about
this doesn't work.
But we're not about they've stopped talking about the hand washing and the social distancing. I still, I'll be honest with you, the social distancing I kind of like.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you. What I like is not having strangers crawling up my butt at Walmart and the grocery store.
Yep.
I am greatly appreciative of that.
And I don't, I honestly, with the Monday night game that Sarah had the opportunity, Sarah went to, I had the opportunity to go as well. There were two reasons that I did not want to go. One of them was
you don't
logistical.
Like people.
One of them was logistical. CJ needed somebody, to be here to help him make sure he got to bed and got ready for school. But yeah, no, I don't like. I don't say it like that, man. Not that I don't like people. Most of the time, it's that I don't
you don't like loud drunk jocks screaming and spilling beer on you when it's 35 below. I get that.
Yes, there's that. But even if they weren't loud drunk jocks, I have tickets. Sarah and I have tickets to the Jeff Dunham show at the end of February.
Different
crowd. It's also a different venue. We're going to be on the floor seating.
Mm-hmm.
We're, I think, at the back of one section or at the front of another. But I'm still a little concerned. I won't say concerned. I still have my foibles about that.
Right.
Because it's a packed stadium. I mean, or not stadium. They're playing at the KeyBank Arena, which is a hockey arena.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a visitor. I don't know if you can see her still.
No.
Other than the vacuum cleaner. Which I didn't move. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay.
But the cat just crept through the screen.
Oh, okay. Up over your left shoulder?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the critters stay out of my room, so it's okay.
Well, I'm upstairs in the bonus room, and as long as the boys stay relatively quiet and they're not walking through the scene like they were last week, we're good.
Yeah, we'll be fine. So anyway, it does bug me that they have dropped all pretense of this being about mitigating the virus beyond going, you can't talk.
Right. I don't want to go down a tinfoil hat route, but
no,
you're right.
It's the problem with saying that every bit of the argument against, they are doing, part of it is they are making decisions that they think will help. Part of it is also they are trying not to do things that they think will hurt their image publicly.
Right.
I don't know why, but the social distancing apparently polled worse than the masks.
Because we as human beings need to be together. Most of us are social beings, and we need to be around our families and stuff.
Again, I don't hate people. I'm not against going places. It's when you have a huge sea crush of humanity. I'd rather go to Walmart at 2 a.m. than 2 p.m. Okay.
I get you. See, I'm the other way. Come Christmas time, I hate Christmas shopping.
Oh, so do I, but that's what Amazon's for.
But I will gladly park as far away from the mall as possible, walk inside, get myself a cup of hot chocolate, and watch everybody, because I love being out in it this time of year. Just don't make me go buy anything. Please don't make me carry anything. I'm not a Sherpa. I'm not a pack mule.
See, I park as far away from stores as possible so that I can get more steps in.
I just don't want to have to fight. I am not cruising around the parking lot looking for a space to park. I will find the first parking spot I find.
Sarah always says that I'm horrible in parking lots, and it's because I don't want to hit anybody.
Right.
And for some reason up here, businesses have made the space between rows smaller. I mean, just a little bit, but it's enough that my brain goes, warning, warning, warning.
Yeah. It's like airlines. The more lines on there, the more people that can park. Doesn't matter if they're parked on top of each other or not.
Yeah. So
anyway,
you
had mask mandates.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor, and it wasn't on the internet, so it's got to be at least mostly true, right?
Maybe.
And it came from a reputable source. My barber.
Okay.
There is a rumor on the street that my county here is going to be dropping the mask mandates after the first of the year.
Is going to be dropping them?
Dropping them.
How long have they been in place?
A while. We've been wearing masks since I moved up here.
Okay.
Where I worked, dropped it for about a minute, and they're running off of a number of 5%. If the population, if 5% of the population tests positive, then they're going to go back to masks at work. Mm-hmm. But apparently the county commissioners here are going to be dropping the mask mandate sometime after the first of the year. Now that's theory. That's a rumor. Obviously, I heard it from my barber. I heard it from somebody that knows one of the county commissioners. We all know how that goes.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but since Hap wanted to talk about mask mandates, I figured I'd throw a little bit of a rumor out there.
Yeah, it is interesting across the United States, and that is the beauty of the structure of our government. To be honest with you, is that we've got 50 states, and each of the 50 states has different rules. They have in New York. They have what's called the New York State HERO Act, and basically what that is it's every business had to come up with a plan to handle a couple of different contingencies. One was if the numbers are where businesses must have, people inside indoors at businesses must wear masks, right. And then 75%, 50%, 25% building occupancy, and then full remote for all businesses. That's the New York State HERO Act. And what they have, that was a law that was passed. So that went through the full legislative process. And basically, the governor's office is the point of responsibility in calling when any of those levels are hit on a county by county basis. Okay. So where New York State is going full mask for all counties, she's basically triggering the HERO Act for all counties. Erie County, where I work, has been under the HERO Act for a month and a half or 2 months now. Niagara County, where I live, is not. Oh, okay. So apparently Omicron doesn't know county boundaries. It's knows county boundaries like that. Sorry, I just some of these delineations make no sense.
Yeah,
but it is interesting to see that. It is interesting to see that in New York, it is the governor's call, not the county controller, not the not any of the other, any other lower county level government. Whereas it sounds like in North Carolina, it's the county government that's making the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and in some cases, it's even the state. It's even the city mayors are making the call. Depending on the size of the city, it might be county versus city in some cases.
I know in Florida there was the governor had overall say, but he was letting his county commissioners and the cities make their own decisions for a while. Like Miami-Dade area, was practically locked down.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the rest of it was on just mask mandates and everything else. I mean, the state got locked down for about 2 or 3 weeks last year. And it took Miami-Dade a long time to come out of lockdown because it's Miami and they're living on top of each other. And, it's a very populated area.
Yeah.
Not like New York City, but Miami-Dade is a pretty populous area. And so is St. Pete, Pinellas County.
Yep.
But, the rest of them we were on mask mandates and we were traveling and, is what it is.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens, and maybe we'll come back with our mask on our face. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why
I can.
One of the things I love about working at home, I don't have to wear a mask if I'm at home. Now, exactly. I'm still going to the office 3 days a week. For now, we'll have to see. Again, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Now the other thing, and we're at 20 minutes. I don't want to push much longer than this. But what I've started seeing around here bumper stickers and flags and license plate frames for Trump 2024.
Before you go any further, because I want to throw out my opinion on this.
Sure.
Real quick, because I know you've got a lot more to say on it than I do.
Oh, I don't know about that.
President Trump was a very decisive person.
Yes.
He's still pissing people off. Mm-hmm. Why he's going after Benny Netanyahu now is beyond me. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
But he did.
He's going after anybody that does things that he doesn't like.
And part of it is just trying to keep his name in the news, which leads me to believe there might be something in plan for 2024. But what I'm getting at is I don't want to see President Trump run again. I want to see President Trump play kingmaker. I want him I want him involved, and I want him in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I want him doing like what Sarah Palin was doing. You messed up, you resigned, stay out of politics. Let's not play this game anymore, but you have a role to play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very firm stand that I make when I talk about President Trump. Mm-hmm. Now, if there is a massive grassroots effort to get him to run again, that's what this country is founded on. The people have spoken, they want you to run. At that point, I'd absolutely vote for him again. But I wouldn't vote for him in a primary. I say that, but unless there was this massive upswelling grassroots, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. The funny thing is, and the reason that I laugh is because none of the primary candidates that I've gone for have won even my state.
So,
but that's okay because they've gone on to make their point and get enough support from the populace to at least somewhat drive the narrative.
Right.
So here's the interesting thing. I'm in Western New York, which is rural, and it is definitely not, it is more grassroots, it's more rural, common sense voting block. My challenge with both Biden and, let's put it this way. My challenge with any of the candidates these days is that the decision has been made by the political parties that everything has to be so damn polarized.
Right.
That you are, if you dare not, and it's not even if you dare support the other person, if you dare not agree with one party's, named individual, then you are the Antichrist.
Yes.
Well, maybe not the Antichrist, but one of his minions.
Yes, I got you.
And this goes back to the whole conversation thing, the whole being able to sit down and hash out things with with that we disagree on without being disagreeable.
Who was the Speaker of the House under Reagan? Was it Tip O'Neill?
I believe so.
But they used to sit down at night and have a drink.
Yeah.
Like twice a week, just to
so that
become friends.
Not like friends. Yeah. But in such a way that they could have those conversations.
Could have those conversations and sit down and be peaceable and enjoy each other's company without getting mad at each other.
Right. And there's families that have been ripped apart.
And let's
that's the concern of having Trump come in as a presidential candidate again is how further polarized the American people would be. That's my
question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Who on the Republican side of the House could run and not polarize the rest of the country?
Nobody that's going to get enough support to be elected president.
Who on the Democrat side could run without polarizing the country?
Joe Manchin.
Ooh. Oh.
Only because Joe Manchin is a pretty centrist Democrat.
Oh, that hurt. I didn't think of that one.
Yeah, I mean there are some centrist Republicans, but the thing is that the Democrats have taken in the current mode of single party rule. The Democrats have taken the state of the nation enough to the left where all Republicans are upset with it, and many Democrats are too. But by the same token, if you throw Trump back on the campaign trail as the nominee, you're going to. I don't know how much of the anti-Trump movement could
the whole thing about
that message.
The whole thing about the election being fraudulent is enough for him not to run. Okay, I mean, he threw a very vocal temper tantrum about it. His people threw a very vocal temper tantrum about it, and most people don't know that Hillary Clinton threw a massive temper tantrum about hers too. She just did it through the courts.
I mean, and that's that's really where it's funny because now that you said it, you're right, because there was Clinton argued against Trump actually having won.
Yeah.
And it didn't go through the courts. It went through a federal investigation.
Well, yeah, that too.
It went through an impeachment. No, I'm sorry, 2 impeachments.
2 impeachments.
Part of me wants Congress to be that bogged down again so they can stop creating as much crap for the American people to deal with.
And here's the other thing. One of those isn't done yet.
Oh, I know.
There's indictments coming down from Russiagate.
Yeah, on the people that actually supported the dossier and supported the FBI.
Yeah.
It's
going to get ugly.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is.
The problem with that is the people on the left are going to say, well, even though it was all fake, Trump was a really bad guy and didn't deserve to be there anyway.
Right. They are continuing to try to.
They're going to do the same thing with Justice
Trump. Make the Trump presidency illegitimate.
Yeah,
that's the goal of their game.
Yeah,
is to remove the legitimacy of President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, and that's really where honestly, I don't want to see Trump run because of that.
I don't either.
It would be an absolute popcorn season to watch him run.
And
But
I really
don't want to watch him run because of the rest of the stuff.
I hope that no one from the family gets involved.
Yeah.
At least directly.
Hold on just a second, Ken.
Okay.
Sorry, dinner's almost ready.
Yeah, well, we're at the 30-minute mark, but you see Paul checked in, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did.
I
wish I could have said hi, but we were in the middle of a rant. So yeah.
We are not England. I don't want to see any Trumps. And I'm saying they can't. Okay, but there's people with the last name of Bush. There's people with the last name of Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
We're guys. Come on.
Do we want to see? Do we want to see Trump Jr. run?
No. He's as far as I know, he has no executive level experience with anything.
Yeah, and that is one thing that Trump has that his family does not. I mean, actually, yes, they do have. I believe some of them do have executive experience, but I don't.
There's a difference between being an executive and having executive level experience. If you're not controlling personnel decisions and you're not controlling the budget and having to deal with the budget,
point.
So the whole argument goes back to McCain and Obama. McCain had executive level experience. He was a squadron commander. Now it's small,
but
he was a squadron commander. He had to make personnel decisions, and he had to manage his own budget. Obama had been a senator and a community organizer and didn't have the executive level experience.
That didn't stop anything.
But that's what I'm getting at. I mean, just because you're good with money and you're sitting at your Trump Jr. and you're sitting at your dad's right hand doesn't give you executive level experience. It may business experience, which is important, but you need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, true, very true. So yeah, that's all part of it, and we'll see right now. I mean, it's December 2021. We still have the midterms to run through. Yeah. Which those and what's interesting is if Trump announced that he was going to be running for president in 2024 now, that would be all that the Democrats would run against.
Yeah.
For the midterms.
Yeah.
And in some cases they'd win because of it.
Right.
And that's something we have to be cognizant of.
And because I'm an equal opportunity offender, I ran into some people that have problems with Pete Buttigieg, whose name I cannot pronounce, and offer my apologies to the secretary.
No, you're fine. I think you said it right.
But people were getting on his case, and I don't agree with his politics. And I don't know anything that happened in South Bend, but he was the mayor of a small city.
Yeah.
I think he's got a little bit of experience when it comes to executive level experience.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Whereas Kamala Harris did not.
Yeah.
And she couldn't primary her own state.
Yeah. There is that. There is that. All righty. Well, like I said, making decisions on Trump running or not running now is exceedingly premature. I just think that it's interesting that there are people now that think that it's going to happen, that have the bumper stickers on, that have the flags.
I think that's awesome. It's out there.
Yep.
That's a good thing.
And if he decides not to run, he does put himself in that realm of kingmaker.
Yeah.
Actually, what's interesting is, and there's a show that I talk about a lot, and it's the Mark Davis show. It's on 660 AM The Answer. You can go to 660amtheanswer.com, go to their podcasts, find the Mark Davis show. Find the Mark Davis show for Friday, December 11th, or Friday, December 10th, and the 7 a.m. hour. And at 7:20, Mark Davis interviewed President Donald Trump. And it was awesome. Now, the reason for the interview was you have Bill O'Reilly and Donald Trump doing the history tour.
Nice.
And they're making a stop in Dallas Fort Worth. That's where this radio show is. So he was interviewing Donald Trump. And he asked the question, he says, do you want to put yourself through that washing, through that rent cycle again? Do you want to go through all of that again to run? And he very much said, we will see as time goes on. But right now we're 138-1 for people that I endorse. He's like, when I say somebody's good, the people agree with me, and we're 138-1 on that. So
I think he's found his spot.
I would be in agreement.
And I think that he could help the Republican Party pick the next nominee. Who are we hearing from? Roger Winchester? Sam Hayes? They're saying good morning. I'm confused.
Saying good morning. Well, it's morning somewhere in the world.
It's true. But I think that President Trump has his role in the political spectrum picked out.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we've got, like I said, we're still months away.
Oh, we're ladies now. Who is Sam Hayes?
I don't know.
This is the problem with going live.
This is
fine, Sam. Thank you very much. It's good to see you too.
I don't know. The vocoder isn't working now.
I'm no fear Tifa's here.
Well, actually, the funny thing is we're about to wrap things up. Just what is that phrase? Fashionably late. There we go. All right.
What else before we go?
Yeah.
No, what else? What else we got before we go? Trump and
Epstein.
What else?
Oh, yeah. It's funny because Epstein the Epstein case has not ended. There are still things being run through the courts. Do
you know Sam Hayes? I have a feeling
not a clue.
He's a troll.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hi,
so
Sam.
Oh my goodness, hold on a second. Paul Ligma. Have not heard of Paul Ligma. Yeah. Sam's here for the Antifa swap meet. You're the right here is 3 doors down on the left. Remember, it's a very serious organization. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. As we said, what's that?
We have another troll.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's all right.
We're good. We'll deal with the call. We'll deal with the comments in a minute. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We are still kind of on random. So if you want to troll us again, that'll be great. You just got to find us when we come live. And to do that, if you're on Facebook, you have to follow the page. If you're on YouTube, then you have to subscribe. That's the only way that you'll know. And guess what? That actually helps our numbers. So thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed what you saw, we ask you to come back and see us again. If you didn't, we'll invite you to come back anyway. Because we may not have Paul joining us. Well, actually, no. Paul's the good guy. The other two we'll worry about later. But you will definitely hear different words in a different order. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a wonderful night.
Good night, everybody.